everyone, it's Jo here from Macorba's Tarot. Thanks for joining me again. I thought I'd do a little bit of something different. I had it in mind that I would quite like to see if I can provide an intuitive message from Princess Diana. She's somebody that I've always thought was really beautiful and just a lovely, stunning person. And just so sad, isn't it, how she was taken from us? And with all the coronation coming up and the royal family being in the press a lot recently for various different reasons, often not so good, I just thought that maybe today it would be something a bit fun and a bit different and a bit interesting to see what might come through should we try and bring an intuitive message in from her. So I have no idea how this is going to go. It's a bit of a new thing for me. I've never done this before. So I pre-shuffled the decks and meditated on them. So I'm just going to jump in really and see what happens. So, okay. I think we all know, don't we, that she was a very loving person. She did a lot of charitable work. She had a really human side to her that people really were drawn to. She also shared her own emotions, didn't she, so that we got to sort of know her. And I think that's really shining through here again, that love is in the center of everything that she is and that she did, and that she feels that that is the most important thing, to show love, to lead with love, to think of other people, to care for others, and especially your own family as well. It's important to make the time to show them love, and she did that, didn't she, with her own children. There's lots of lovely, beautiful photographs of her sort of hugging her children, sort of really warmly and genuinely, and she clearly was a really lovely, loving mother. I think the message here is that perhaps the coronation is a new beginning, new starts. There's always an opportunity to start again in relationships, and again, love is going to help to overcome everything. So there's clearly some issues between members of the family at the moment, and I think the clear message here at the heart of this reading is love is essential and important. I think she feels that, if we just turn our attention to her children, her boys Harry and William, she's pleased to see that they've had successful marriages. They're both happy with their wives, respective wives. They've got beautiful children, and I think she feels very proud that that's been the case. And she's obviously not been here in the physical world to see that, but she has been looking on, obviously, and has been really delighted to see that happen. I think she's aware that the problems that have been happening at the moment, there hasn't been any action taken to really sort of solve them. I think from if we think about Prince Harry's point of view and Meghan, they've expressed their feeling on things. I think they're waiting for action to be taken towards them, perhaps to reconcile the situation. But that isn't happening at the moment, and I think there may be things that have to change in terms of society and the cultural norms within the royal family. I think in times to come, she's saying things will be very different in the way that people think about matters, very sensitive matters such as race and equality and things like that. And people will become very much more enlightened, and perhaps will be look back with some disdain about things that might have happened, and that even if there was a hint that that should have been the case, there should have been there should be action taken to put it right and make it absolutely clear that that's not the case, because silence really isn't okay. I think she's aware that the situation has been sort of lots of small things that have mounted up and caused a problem, and then larger things towards the end that caused an ending. But I think perhaps the relationships between people in the family have had to come to a bad point in order to be able to move forward. And again, we've got the center of things being love again here. There is this opportunity here for a new beginning, if everybody's willing to do the right thing, really, and be open-minded and respectful of each other. There's always that opportunity when families are getting together for a big event as well, just to break the ice, isn't there? And I think that's the case. I think there's a suggestion here that there are happier times to come. I think the family's seen some difficult times. People in disgrace, accused of horrible things. Um, you know, also, even close family members, brothers, not seeming to support each other, feeling hurt by each other. She wants them to be happy. All she can think about is that she wants them to be happy together. She wants them to be a happy family. Although just right now, I think everybody is just feeling a bit closed off because of things that have been said very publicly. It's difficult, isn't it, to overcome that? But I think she's saying that if everyone's determined to overcome this, and everybody's open-minded and leads with love and shows understanding, and everybody can try and see the other's perspective, then it is possible to open up. But everybody is just keeping to themselves just for now. Perhaps emotions are running quite high because of things that have been actions that have been taken in terms of releasing information into the media, publishing things about certain situations. It's caused a bit of angst and upset, and sometimes a bit of space between people can be the right thing, can't it? And there's when you do share information about other people, it does cause them to be defensive. They're not likely to respond to that, come towards you feeling very loving in that moment, are they? So I think everybody's just feeling a bit closed off, a bit defensive, and not allowing sort of emotions to take over here at all. As right now there's sort of a lack of family emotion, and really she's saying there will be better times coming in, there will be more happiness, things can be resolved, but we're not seeing it immediately. So perhaps when we watch the coronation, we won't see a sudden announcement that everything's fine, because they've seen each other. I think it's just going to take a little bit longer than that, by the sound of it. I think she's saying it's a good thing that Harry would like to be financially independent. Obviously, the way that you go about that needs to be, or he goes about it, needs to be considered. But I think she feels proud that he's taken the stand to be independent and to make his own decisions. I think she feels that being controlled by a family, an institution, isn't healthy. And if you want to be independent, you should be able to do that. And I think she's glad that Harry has taken that action, if that's what's going to make him happy. I think the way he's gone about it might be something that she feels hasn't been thought through in the best way. It's come from emotion, and he might change his mind about what's happened there in the future. I think she's saying that he should hold on to his sort of legacy and be proud of his past, whilst also moving forward and being his own person. I think she's proud of him for taking steps to do that, and she hopes that he'll continue with that in the future. It's very much Harry dominated, isn't it? I guess he's probably the one mostly on her mind at the moment. So I think at the moment, there's tactics being taken to try and, I think she's saying that he wants to try and make a change for the positive, but the way he's going about it and the tools that he's using might not be the right ones, but change can still, change for the good can still come of this. And I think what he's trying to manifest are only good things. And ultimately, I think, as we've seen here, she's saying that in times to come, the attitudes towards, equality and things like that, and how people are treated and freedoms and respect for privacy and all that sort of thing, it has come on leaps and bounds in just a few years, really, hasn't it? I mean, if I think about how things have changed and attitudes have changed during my lifetime, it's going to only keep progressing and keep moving forward. And he's obviously going to be part of that positive change, really. He'll be known up there with those people that have stood up in history and really made a difference. And I think she does feel incredibly proud, really. That's what I'm seeing here. She's saying that that's the right thing, but just do it in the right way. Do it in the right way. Think it through, and perhaps don't be quite as lead with emotion. Although it's very difficult, isn't it, not to? It's very difficult not to. Let's clarify the Sun card here. Let's clarify the Sun. Yeah. So I think she's saying the king is going to be a loving, stable presence over the whole situation. He does love his family. I think although she had difficulties, didn't she, in her lifetime with that relationship, she does recognise that he is a good father. He is a stabling influence for them. And again, if he supporting with leading with love, he always sort of, doesn't he, publicly says that he loves both of his sons, and is supportive of them in their choices in their life. Yeah, and I think he's a bit heartbroken to think that there have been difficulties. Family matters can be very heartbreaking, can't they? They can be very heartbreaking. So what's the advice? What's the advice from Princess Diana? What's the advice? Yeah. She's saying, at the moment it feels like there's the weight of the world on shoulders. Perhaps both of her sons, one of them's going to be the future king. He's going to have to deal with all the problems that, sort of front up the problems at some point in the future. And everyone's feeling very burdened down by the current situation. But, if a decision, a really fair decision and what, approach is taken, she's saying, take a fair approach, weigh up all the options, and, try not to feel too blinded by the circumstance. Yeah, and everything in its time. If they come towards each other slowly in the future, in a loving way, again, love just comes through, shines through this reading as you would expect it to. I'm just going to pull a couple of these cards. They're supposed to be for loving relationships, really, but again, I think it's just possible that something, there may be a message here that intuitively she would want to give. So let's pull one of these. Message from Princess Diana. Intuitive message, you please, universe, from Princess Diana. What would Princess Diana want to say? Princess Diana. Let's have a look. Here we go. Don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do, for it is only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others. Wow, what a very pertinent message. I think that probably could apply very nicely, couldn't it, to her boys. Well, thanks for joining me. I've really enjoyed pulling this spread. I wasn't quite sure how easy it was going to be to bring an intuitive message through, but actually, as I pulled the cards, I think the messages were coming to me quite clearly, and you could definitely feel her energy and feel her aura through the story that came in. So thanks for joining me. Please like the video if it was interesting to you and resonated with you, and please join me for future readings as I do post content every day. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.